All right, welcome back. We got a lot to talk about. A lot of things moving very quickly in the crypto space. Couple things that came out late day, and I didn't want to wait till the morning to talk about it, is U.S. intelligence is looking at Chinese central bank digital currency as a national security threat. And then we got U.S. banks may seek to buy cryptos. Roll that beautiful intro. Let's get into this thing.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at Backup Bradley above at the top of the screen and everything that we're talking about here today. Okay, let's go ahead and get into this. Some late day information that I just didn't want to wait on. First of all, let's take a look at this from DJ Peter Vass. Thank you, my brother. Looks like something is going to happen soon. Search is on fire worldwide for Google on Google search engine for Ripple is up 567% in the past week. Whoa. Yeah. And we got a lot of other heavy stuff to look at too. So on the retail side, Ripple XRP is getting a lot of attention. Now, taking a look at this right here, because if you don't know and you're early to the space, this is from Michael Val 5 Links. The launch of Stellar's new protocol was received positively by crypto market, coinciding in a 100% price raise from XLM across the last 48 hours. I did cover this earlier today, but I wanted to make attention of it because a lot of people are rolling into this space are new and they don't understand. Jed McCaleb actually created the XRP ledger and was at Ripple early on, and basically in the early days, I should say, and then left after falling out of sorts with Chris Larson, and went off and took the code itself with him because he created it. And Jed was actually the guy that actually hired David Schwartz and Arthur Brito, and then later left, but took the code with him. That code was created for XLM. So, or used for XLM, I should say. So it's really no surprise to me, even I don't see over the years that they have the level of partnerships and commitments going on at this time, but they do have some very good things happening for them. They have a close relationship with IBM. I also know that Franklin Templeton is building off of their Stellar network as well, and some other good things are happening in the way of launching stablecoin issuance off of that network as well. So just wanted to keep people really informed on that. And let's move to the next thing. XRP is set to surpass, say that 5 times fast, Ethereum in key metric for first time in 7 months, says crypto intelligence firm Sentiment. The crypto intelligence firm says XRP is on the verge of passing Ethereum in the key metric for the first time, and like I said, in 7 months. But now listen, here's the deal. We have calls, and this will be percentage gains, not price, right? And moves of percentage gains. But what we want to pay attention to here is really where those channels are that we talked about before. And I had those up yesterday, and I just want to remind everybody, because we're seeing a little market action where it's breathing a little bit. It's kind of pulled back and things are resting for the moment. And those channels were 0.59 to 0.70, which is the channel we're currently in right now. And in fact, before we get on to the other news, I'll just show you this chart really quickly here. So the first channel we're in, which is what we're still in, between 59 cents and 70 cents. The second channel we want to pay attention to is if we break out above that with a lot of volume, we could get into that 87 cent, $1 range. I know we all would love to be in that $1 plus range. If we get over that channel, then we'd be looking for the $1.14 to $1.46. And this is all coming from Crypto Bull, who provides some very cool information and things to think about. Disclaimer, it's not financial information. It's just people's perspectives on the markets and the charts. So, okay, now, we will keep an eye on that. What we do want to pay attention to is Facebook Libra hires former OCC prosecutor and central bank expert. Now, this is interesting to me because it says to me that Facebook is about to get in the game. They understand how hard they were really put down when they first put forth the idea of Libra, and about how Libra became the catalyst for the central bank digital currency conversation to begin with. So I think we're moving in a direction where we're about to see Facebook begin to make some kind of offering, and it will look much different than the original white paper that they introduced. Now, here's where we really want to drill down here. The U.S. intelligence is looking at Chinese central bank digital currency as a national security threat. A successful digital yuan could challenge the status of the U.S. dollar in international trade. And there is an issue right there. Now, when we go down into this and we look at this, I do want to say a successful digital yuan could challenge the status of the U.S. dollar in international trade. The flip side, however, is that many see a digital yuan as a tool of surveillance for the Chinese Communist Party. While that might reduce demand, the upgrade access to information may be another factor that Ratcliffe is worried about. And Ratcliffe is actually John Ratcliffe from the Securities Exchange Commission, and Chairman Jay Clayton earlier in the month had this discussion in a meeting about this idea. Now, there is a December 3rd meeting as well with the Security Exchange Commission, and that is going to be, I think, on a number of topics. This may be one of them. We don't know. But I can tell you that this is very much this is very real, the pressure that China is putting out here, that they are out ahead of this in the market and launching these things. And they make no bones about it. China is looking to really have the Chinese yuan seen as a reserve currency. That would be their choice. And there are some other countries like Russia and maybe even Iran, I believe, that would participate in this because they deal with a lot of U.S. sanctions between SWIFT, right? Or because of SWIFT, because the U.S. has the ability to manipulate SWIFT to work sanctions and controls through payment rails and channels through that messaging system. So we're going to keep an eye on this because I'm going to tell you something. There's something about this that just doesn't go away. Now, I don't. What I see is the opportunity for policy and a regulatory framework to come into play to really release the logjam, to allow the public and private relationship to exist so we can see the digital dollar be accepted like the USD coin that is currently on Coinbase, that was put together with Jeremy Allaire from Circle and Brian Brooks, who was at Coinbase at that time before going to the OCC. Now, when you look at this, U.S. banks might buy cryptos. This gets pretty exciting because I have talked to you guys a lot about the idea that the next wave of motion to come from the space is going to be pretty remarkable because it's going to be a merger acquisition partnership wave that takes place with banks, traditional banks, looking to buy up crypto platforms and custody companies. So when I think about this, this is something that I think is going to make a huge, huge impact on this space. Traditional banks are not going to sit back knowing they've been given the clearance to hold reserves for stablecoin issuers and to also be able to custody digital assets. They're going to look to expand their business, right, by purchasing something instead of starting something from the ground up. And it as much says so in here too. If you look at this, partnering with existing services remains the best way out for banks. By operating on their behalf, the banks would now be offering the services legally. The other option is when the banks buy crypto custodians. This is big, I'm telling you. These new developments are ideal for both banks and crypto users. The banks don't have to worry worry anymore about losing clients to crypto financial services, and cryptos also gain a secure investment platform. Banks are compliant and would not mess with the client's investment. The mergers almost solves the long-running issue between commercial banks and cryptos. And then that takes us to the next part of the article, which we don't have to jump into as much, because what I want to focus on here is this. Banks know they are the traditional firms, and they have the brand awareness, and they have the customer relationships with the consumers out here in the retail market. They're trusted. Whether they should be or not is another video. But banks in large are trusted. So many people have decades-long relationship with their banks, and they don't want to try something new like we did and be speculators and pioneers and come out here and open up an account on one crypto exchange and buy crypto from another exchange because you couldn't get it on the first one. You know the drill if you've been in this space for any length of time. What we're talking about here is normalization, and being able to encompass a merger from a traditional bank and a crypto platform, and to be able to tuck that offering, that particular offering of product and service, whether it be a custody solution or buy and sell using a third party on the front of this, of the banks, and really bringing that in-house. And that is going to escalate crypto buying and normalization of the use of it like we've never seen. And we are getting the high sign right here from this conversation that this is exactly what they're going to use, or what they're going to use the OCC for, and the current letters and issuances that have come from Brian Brooks and the OCC to make these moves. I think there's going to be some big names coming in the future, crypto exchanges that we've seen that end up being purchased or merged with, traditional banks. They're not going to go out here and do this thing from the ground up. How many times have we had people tell us how far behind they are? They're not going to continue to wait. U.S. banks might buy cryptos. U.S. banks are going to buy cryptos. And I'll tell you something, they probably have in a separate LLC holding company, and for years when the market was down. But what we're really going to see is that they're going to buy crypto platforms like crypto custodians and exchanges alike. You watch, we'll see what happens. All right, that's going to do it for me. I just want to put that together real quick for you guys. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Check out all the links in the description box and the comment section for anything you may want or need. Have some really great Black Friday specials in there, so make sure you check everything. And I'll catch all of you on the next one.